Everything come out all right?
Yeah. Thankfully. It's less than useful when there's no toilet paper on there.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I checked before I started.
I know, I would have hated that part. Excuse me, anybody?
Hello! Anybody that no one was over there.
Mommy, what's that? Nothing, honey, just keep walking. I brought some,
nice warm day to hike.
I brought some cast off bread nugget failure attempts, but it's still rye bread, but I'm never going to use it and I don't want to throw it out. So if you want to use it as, I also brought,
I still have some of your other one left.
Yeah, okay, well you can do whatever, feed squirrels. I also brought this dressing or hummus.
Okay.
It's all natural,
Hummus?
It's all vegan.
Sweet.
So if you want to, I used to dip the rye bread into it like a,
that's a good idea.
It's really good. Okay. Did you hear my rant about the mockingbird?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I heard the one about the cardinal.
Okay. Right, yeah. So maybe the mockingbird is on the plain truth. But I think the mockingbird's songs are all original.
Yeah.
I don't think the mockingbird mocks any other bird because I've never heard any other bird sing anything that the mockingbird sings. Like, I've seen mockingbirds and cardinals in the same area, but I've never heard a mockingbird mock a cardinal. So
yeah, it's more like he just
I don't know.
Makes up whatever he likes the sound of.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that both the western mockingbird and the east mockingbird, they have the same song. So it's a genetic thing.
Huh.
Like, there's no alteration.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe just because there's so many different songs, they just called it a mockingbird.
I guess, it would almost be
that
like,
didn't really know the other songs.
So it's a knee-jerk description that's wrong, but it just sticks. Kind of like the concept of mirages.
Yeah.
You like how I did that? It's a beautiful day, man.
Yeah,
it was overcast earlier, so I thought it was going to be poop.
I should take the shirt off and everything while I was out there bouncing. Nice and warm.
Uber is testing my patience.
Yeah, I saw your little rant about the
man.
thing. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's annoying as fuck. Today was that's all I got were the trip radars. So it has a different chime, so I know to ignore it.
Yeah.
But that's all that came up.
You think they'd still give you regular? Like, what do they expect you to do if you're not fast? You
I
never
don't
get
know.
any work?
Yeah. Well, it's been really bad the past couple of days. I had to go outside of the county.
Huh.
Which is weird. I don't know how to figure out what's going on. My friend's like, you got to know the market. I'm like, first of all, I don't have enough information to know the market. But second of all, this is just like 2 months of consistent driving every day. And then all of a sudden it just drops off.
Yeah,
that just doesn't make any sense. Like, if anything, it's spring. It should be renewing, right? Should be more healthy.
Well,
vibrant.
I mean, less people want to walk. When it's freezing outside, you're like, I'm just going to call the Uber.
Man, people don't want to walk these days.
Yeah, right. Not many people. Not a lot of us out here. So today we'll try to find the right path to circle back around.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did I tell you that I came back out here with my son?
Yeah, you said you were going to.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Good spot. Yeah, we did an hour this morning. Right around sunrise. I woke up a little early and I was like, well, I've got nothing else to do. So went out walking.
I might as well start. I thought about that last night. I thought, okay, since my mornings have been shit and I wake up at 4, I might as well walk.
Yeah. And now it's just about the perfect time of year for it, where it's not so freezing cold at night.
Right.
Take weather like this all year round. Stop by Planet Fitness on my way up here. Since you're going to take a little bit longer, I was like, I'll just go to Planet Fitness. Do a quick little workout.
Were you the one telling me that they don't have scales?
Yeah. No scales, no judgment.
Well, that just assumes that people are like looking over your shoulder. How much do you weigh, bro?
Yeah, right.
Because you're the only one looking.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so stupid.
You just
You might as well not have any weights because
Kinda
look, if I
gimmicky.
can only lift 55, right? That's judgment.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
It is a little bit gimmicky, I'll give you that. Yeah, people were always like, really? You guys don't have scales here? I'm like, no, sorry. Yeah, stop in there, hit a little workout, and use the hydro massage bed. I love that thing.
I went and got adjusted by a chiropractor yesterday. Yeah.
Nice.
It wasn't anything special. It was relaxing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a massage, but there was a part of a excuse me, part of a I guess like a massage table, but it was a vibration and it rolled.
Huh.
So it started at your shoulders and went to your lower back,
Nice.
but it was vibrating at the same time. But anyway, it was just kind of like a
An adjustment.
yeah, but you pop in, you chat. It's like a bartender. You know what I mean? You're chatting it up. You're getting your social interaction. It was a good conversation. You know, we talked about this, that, and the other, and chuckled a bit about whatever was naturally funny.
Yeah. I wouldn't
But at
mind-
the end of it, I was just like, yeah, that's just like I just paid for counseling.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting checked to see if everything's lined up straight. But
Well, she said everything looked good. I'm like, okay.
otherwise, I think I'd rather just pay for a massage.
Yeah, massages are dope.
Yeah, so they do, at least they used to a couple years ago, they do Civil War like reenactments out
Uh-huh.
in this field.
Yeah. Celebration of imperialism. No, we're the better imperialists.
Yeah, even that, like, I can't believe anything these days. It's like, for all we know, the South and the North, all the generals were sitting down having dinner. Like, listen,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
let you win this one, because the generals and stuff are all in the back. You know, they're not.
They all
getting-
they all fought with each other in 1812, or no, that would be too far. You know, this was 1860s, so. But whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
They all trained at West Point. They all knew each
Yeah,
other.
They were all this. That's what I'm saying.
You know
It's
what I
all
mean?
the same group of elites. Like, oh, we got too many of these farmers with too much aggression. Let's just gotta kill off a whole bunch of them real quick, so they're easier to rule. It seems like every once in a while, it's just like there's too many fighting aged men around. So let's start a war,
Yeah,
and you know, it's just
right.
too much of a chance they're gonna rise up against us. So let's
That's an interesting way
just
of looking
kill a
at
whole
it.
bunch of them off real quick.
Yeah.
So then it's only women and children and leftovers.
And then lo and behold, who's going to take care of these poor widows? Oh, I'm right here. I'm available. Hubba hubba. I went to an AA meeting yesterday.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It was interesting. I was not there as a confessor.
Yeah.
I was there to just kind of see I posted it on my channel so you can catch up again, but my other friend who's an Uber driver, he and I talk all the time, and we talk about church. We talk about how we miss certain aspects of church, but there's no pagan atheist church. You know what I mean? There's no place where people
we
go.
Start the Church of Unbelievers.
I know.
Where
Well,
you
no.
can just come and talk about whatever.
Yeah, but it's not unbelievers. You got to think of another way of Church of the Open-Minded or whatever, not something like that. But it's not that cheesy. You
I
know?
mean, if you think about it, it's kind of. Well, I mean, I guess it is a little bit belief, but it's more based on
What is it?
experience.
The Church of the Zetetic, Church of the Open-Minded Scientist.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
Open-minded spiritualist. Or,
Yeah. But it was funny because, you know, my story with where I'm at spiritually is, you know, I've made these changes myself.
Yeah.
And I've made these changes that I couldn't make when I was a Christian.
Yep.
And it was because I believed and behaved the same way these AA guys are doing. Like they're all, if it wasn't for God, the first step is my life is unmanageable because of my addiction. The second step is I can't do this on my own. But that's not my story.
Yeah, right.
My story is I had to do it entirely on my own. So I'm like listening to all these people, and every single one of them to a man, God helped me. He strengthened me. I'm like, no, you still had to do it.
Yeah.
You still had to make a decision not to drink or whatever. It's still always you. So like, you think he gave you some juice or something? Some pixie dust sprinkle? Hello. Looks like you got some patches on the back from where you've been before, huh? Yeah. I used to have those when I was a kid.
I guess, we gotta be like open-minded even to the fact that they might need that,
Right. But
like,
see, then, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying.
But I know what you're saying. Like, you don't want them not to learn that it's inside of themselves, but
right.
They might feel like no matter what they do, they can't stop themselves. And it's almost like what's it called? When you take a pill, it's not like a sugar
placebo.
pill. Yeah, it's almost maybe like a placebo.
Yeah,
like
psychological placebo.
If they believe that there's someone helping
right.
them, then it might be easier for them.
Yeah, but see, that wasn't my experience as a Christian.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like my crying out to God for help. Like I was like, oh, I feel it. I can do it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I never felt that. I always just felt like I was always just on my own. And so then I was always waiting for God to do it because I'm told, you can't do this on your own, Travis. Yeah. You can't overcome this vice. You're a glutton. You're a sloth. You're angry. You're greedy. You're lustful. You can't do any. You need God. I'm like, okay, God, help me. And then I'm looking at porn, or I'm, whatever. Like, where's your help?
Yeah,
like, I didn't want to do this. Anyway.
No, I think that churches in general have really done a disservice. At least at this point in history, it's time to move on from those kind of aspects of what all the different churches taught. And it's just, we're always evolving, right? And
yeah,
it seems like our religion needs to evolve. Not that there's, because religion gives people a lot of good stuff. Like, there's different morals and things that come along with it.
Well, yeah, but think about even the guys that I listened to last night. One of them, he had tat sleeves on, looked like a biker. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, if it wasn't for this program, I wouldn't care about people. He's like, I used to not give a shit about anybody.
Yeah.
He's like, now I care about what you think and how you feel. And I'm like sitting there going, that's amazing, right? That's great,
yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying that it's not good. It doesn't have its benefits.
Well, it seems like a community of people, which is what the church was, is what helps people out.
Right.
Being around others who are willing to be there for them, just to listen and
right. But see,
and encourage them.
It's the complete opposite of church.
Yeah,
right.
You have one person teaching everybody.
Well, not only that, but even the openness of people not looking at you crossways, oh, where's he from?
Yeah.
What county is he from? What? I walked in and Patsy came right up to me, all smiles, hello, hey, great to see you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, she was the only one that did it, but still, you've got someone there who's being the greeter that way. But the one thing they said to each other after they got off the stage and said, thanks for letting me talk, they're like, we're glad you came, come back, right? The whole thing is come back.
Yeah. What was I listening to today? A podcast with a guy that was talking to Neil Donald Walsh. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
He wrote Conversations with God.
Okay.
It's a pretty popular spiritual thing. But he was talking about when he was in Catholic school as a kid. He remembers that the priest was like, if you miss mass and there's no good reason for it, that's an eternal sin. That's one of the sins that'll cast you into hell. And it's
right.
Imagine the stuff that these kids are getting in their heads.
Yeah. Yeah, that's psychological abuse.
Yeah, and it's all fear-based. And
yeah.
I feel like the more that we realize love and acceptance-based versus fear and judgment-based.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing that even in dog training, that clicked for me was that you create a relationship with the dog so that the dog only wants to make you happy.
Yeah.
So that when you call, he wants to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he knows that you love him, and he knows that when he sees you, he's going to get loved.
Yeah, I was always very anti like fear discipline with my kids too. Like I never thought that was the right way to go about it. Like making them so scared that they won't listen.
Right.
Like that's not a good basis for a relationship. Like I always tried to make them like understand. I talked to them like they were human, you know?
Right. Well, that's what my son's doing with his, and I need to really encourage him in what I've seen him do, because I have been impressed. He does that.
Yeah.
He talks to him like he's 30 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, don't tell me, show me what you want.
Yeah.
Point it out. The kid knows what he's saying.
Yeah, kids.
2 years old, he
kids
knows
are smart.
exactly what he's saying. And I knew that too, because I had 5 kids, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just seeing him do what I did too. So
Yeah.
I was less.
It seems like our generation kind of, you know, it's like that old paradigm had started to wear itself out for our generation.
Yeah, I get you.
Like
It's almost like back in the 40s and 50s, men didn't hug and say, I love you. And, you know,
Yeah,
but my
exactly.
son kisses all over his son now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's going out of style.
Yeah.
And I did that to him,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah, you're right. The whole, you know, men don't show any emotion and all this stuff.
Yeah. My son
Go
is
to church
crying.
every Sunday. It's all these old. It's just the old paradigm, you know. It's just.
My son is crying on the phone with this girl that he's dating. And she's digging it, right? She's got this guy who's not afraid to cry or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
He's got a lot to learn still. But he's got a pretty good base. But yeah, that whole spiritual truth is an organic, gradual process, you know? And I mean, the way I've said it is, how can I be impatient with you if you're behind me? And then how can I be jealous of you if you're in front of me?
Yeah.
Because it's a process. It's organic. It's got to grow. It's got to get hit by fucking lightning.
Yeah. It's like any other thing in this world, you know. You can't just. You don't plant the seed and expect it to sprout the next day. You know, it's got to take time. And sometimes the storms and the weather in life makes it stronger. You know.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
anything's
The
wrong
wind
with
blows it back and forth, stretches. It's like you're stretching your muscles in yoga.
Yep.
Right? And then the sapling's a little bit stronger next season. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
So, life is just like that. You know, if it was all
Wait a minute.
rainbows and sunshine.
Life is like a box of chocolates. Life is like a young sapling.
Life is or life was. Mandela effect.
Ooh. What's the Mandela on that one?
Life was like a box.
Life was like?
Yeah, that's what it says now. But we all remember it saying life is.
Life is like a box. Life
Exactly.
was doesn't even flow. Life is
Yeah,
a
exactly.
lot more fluid off the lips. Whatever.
Yeah, life was like a box of chocolates before the Mandela effect.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Berenstain. It was Berenstain, but see the whole thing then, because you don't say Albert Einstein,
Yeah, exactly.
you don't say, Nancy Feinstein.
Exactly.
It's Feinstein. It's E-I-N. That's how you say the German vowel.
Yeah, there's almost
Compound
no
vowel.
stains. It would stand out if it was stained.
Yeah.
It would be memorable versus Berenstain, which is just like everyone else. Now they'll be like, well, that's why you thought it was that, because everyone else is. But no.
Yeah, but then the odd man out usually isn't the one that's normal.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention stain. I mean, we could have made a million jokes about that as a kid. But no. Yeah, who knows what's going on with that? It just kind of, the way I see it is it just proves, it's just like all the other synchronicities, like seeing numbers and all that. It's
Yeah.
just, that life isn't quite as solid as we thought it was, or as we were taught it was.
Yeah.
It's a little more like a dream. It's just a dream that when we all agree upon it.
It's that glitch in the Matrix where you think you're seeing deja vu, or you see something at a corner of your eye, you look and it's gone. The Matrix just went little flicker. Whew. I gotta stop smoking this strain before I go out hiking, because my mouth is dry as a desert right now. Had all these, well, not tons, but maybe about 2 or 3 different business ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I was like yesterday, I don't remember what I was driving or what I was doing, but I was like, oh my God, I would love to be Alice in the Brady Bunch. I would love to be the au pair, chef, laundress.
Yeah, right.
For like, I would totally get off on making people's breakfast, lunches, and dinners and shit. Would totally do that.
Yeah, as long as they pay you well enough, it's not a bad gig.
I wouldn't even know how to start looking that up. Like, how to
Especially
be like
in their fancy house
Alice.com.
and,
Oh, yeah, but see, the thing is that you might come across these nut jobs who are total full-on mainstream, and they're like, you gotta make sure you're all up to federal standards, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work out. I don't roll that way.
Unregulatedbutler.com.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. Something. Some job. So, I want to farm. I just want to grow food.
Well, yeah, that's obviously my number one go-to, of course, but in the meantime, in between time, hey, we got fun. But there's so much goddamn land around here, man. Even in some of the poor places, they've got huge lawns that are just like, why are you growing your own world?
Yeah, right.
I would much rather tend a garden than mow a lawn.
Yeah, I think people don't even want to do that.
Right, right.
This freaking life is wearing people out so much. It's like,
yeah.
by the time you get home, you just want to sit down in front of the TV.
Yeah, who's got time to meditate? That takes 3 times my day.
Yeah,
meditate, walk, you know.
And already people like you and I are doing it a little bit different than most people.
Right.
Where we actually have time during the day. Most people couldn't even do this.
I know, man, dude. It's glorious, bro. This is like a fucking vacation.
It's like, but you have to sacrifice.
Yeah. You got to nip and tuck.
Not having a ton of extra money.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's the thing. In this world, you know, they want us to trade our time for money. So it's like, you can have more time, but you're going to have a little bit less money. Unless you got it really all figured out. It's just tough. But yeah, I'd much rather have time than the extra money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's these people I work
with. Is that a fish? No, it's a bark.
I work with people at Amazon, and they're like, yeah, I picked up all these extra shifts. Picked up that extra shift. Yeah, getting that money. I was like, man.
But see, the thing, when I was trucking, the only reason why I worked to the very end of my capability was because I didn't get vacation pay. So that day that I worked was a vacation day that I just bought.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that's how I looked at it. And that's how I was able to start taking off as much time as I was able to, is because I had money saved up.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't making money when I was on Ventura beaches filming the Anacapas. I wasn't getting paid for that.
Well, thankfully, that lifestyle allowed you to do that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was still married. That wouldn't have been possible. Oh, yeah. So I'm thankful that I'm divorced.
Yeah, me too. I mean, look, we wouldn't be doing any of this if we were still married. I wouldn't be out here. I'd still be at UPS working 12 hours a day, you know, and Saturdays when it's the time of year when they make us, and never get any time to do anything for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny though, because I still have just about the same amount of no money.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's the punchline right there. That was a good one. Did I tell you I went to go check out a van?
Yeah. Did he ever get back to you?
I checked with him today. Look at. Tell me what you think about his answer. Hey, this is me. Hey, just seeing if the van is still available. Or no, if you sold the van. Did you sell the van? He said, yes, I have 3 people that want to buy it. And I think to myself, then you didn't sell it. I know, that's exactly what I said. That's not what I asked. Fucking stupid people these days. Anyway, so, I said, well, I'm ready to make a cash offer. And he said, well, they're offering 65, so unless it's going to beat that. And I said, okay, let me know if you still have the van, because you got 3 people that say they want to buy it, and then you're waiting on them, and you got me that I'm ready to go. I'll give you 4,500. Take it or leave it.
We'll see. Another week or two, he might be.
Who knows how long he's going to wait, right?
Yeah.
I guess I've been waiting a week. Like the guy that I was talking to yesterday, I also went and checked out this farmhouse because it was a room to rent.
Yeah.
Beautiful little property in Churchville. And just this beatnik hippie inside, is great place, but only for somebody who's minimal, really, really minimal. Because even the kitchen is too small for me as a cook. I can't go there because there's no way I would be able to exist in that kitchen. Yeah, I can barely do it with my son's apartment. And I have to force myself because it's just so small. Anyway, what was I saying that for?
The house that was the room for rent.
Yeah, but why did I start that story off?
The van and then the room for rent.
Shit.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. How about you?
Good.
Man, what was it? Okay, van. And then I switched to, I don't remember why I switched over. Maybe I'll come back.
Different ways to different places.
I don't know. Oh, that's what it was. So he was talking about how he has 2 rooms, but the one room he's got promised to this girl, but he hasn't heard from her in a week. And he's like, I feel really like I'm obligated. I'm like, did you sign anything? He's like, no. I'm like, well, then don't worry about it. Like, she's not, like, you're totally clean on this. So that's what I'm saying. Like this guy, he's waiting for someone who said that they're interested, but they're not following through. So they're both in that situation. You got somebody who says they're interested, but they're not following through on it. Whatever. That's what the connection was to that. And then I gave him one of my. Did I give you any of my pickled stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Did you try that?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So I brought a jar over to this guy that I went and checked out his room.
Mm-hmm.
And he texts me last night. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't stop eating these. They're so delicious." And I said, "Oh yeah." Well, I said, "Think about this." I said, "My grandmother's original recipe called for 5 cups of sugar, and I cut out 3. So if you think it tastes amazing, just imagine how sweet this thing must have been." But anyway, I was like, "Man, I appreciate that." He said, "I think I feel healthy from eating it already." I said, "I'm going to use that as my tagline on my sticker."
Yeah,
right. Right.
You feel healthy just for eating
Well, whatever happens in the next month and a half or so, I'm going to try to get back out to Daryl's. See how long I can make that happen.
Nice.
I'd like to have a camper, but if I don't, then I'll just maybe even buy a yurt. Put a yurt up there.
I love yurts. I'd love to have one with some property. I almost feel like I'd rather do that than a house these days.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it too. Just you're not really making anything permanent change to the land. You're just kind of floating over top of the land.
Yeah, but you got to keep it small, that diameter. Otherwise, you're just going to have this massive canopy roof.
Yeah.
That you'd have to just build like a circus tent. It'd be too...
Really cool.
They look like it. They're just a fucking teepee.
Yeah. They're nice because with the lattice walls on there, it makes them a little bit more stronger than like a tent.
Uh-huh.
Plus, you can hang up other insulation on it that way.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
What kind of insulation would it be? I mean, it would have to be.
I've seen people use wool, like.
But you got to do it yourself. It's not like a pre-manufactured stuff.
I mean, they have your insulation
Yeah.
packages.
I guess you could probably, like, that'd be interesting, right? You'd be like, find some sheep farmer, say like, how much for like 6-year sheep? Shear the wool, because I want to line my yurt.
That sound. Oh, that's
What was that? The water? Yeah, yeah. Well, what was funny is the house that I went to was right on 22. And I said, okay, because he took me up to this balcony, which was dope, right? Just this 2-seat balcony. And I said, okay, now look, just like look straight ahead at the forest. Don't look at the road. It sounds just like a river.
Yeah.
Like you're just hearing
like
white
white
noise,
noise, yeah.
you know? And this could be like, I mean, because visually it looked like you're in the mountains. But then you look right over there, it's just vroom, 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 vroom.
Yeah, I still wonder if I could get one of those USDA loans. I don't think I have the credit to get that on top of my house. But I was trying to think, like, if I get my
I don't know, it's a low income based
I was thinking, like,
program.
if I can get my ex to sign some kind of like lease agreement or rental agreement, then I can say it's more like a rental property than a mortgage for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then it wouldn't be like I'm paying this as a mortgage. It's an income property.
You're talking about finding your own property and doing this?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand why. So you were talking about, because you said before that you were going to use your
yeah,
service
I want to
loan.
use my VA, but I
Your
can't.
VA.
As long as I still have it on this house, you're only allowed.
Okay, so what you're talking about is as long as you're still tied to this.
Yeah, then trying to see if I can get a different kind of loan.
Yeah.
And just claim that as an income property, or well, no, because the VA loan you're supposed to be living there, so I couldn't.
Well, why couldn't you split it? Why couldn't it be both?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, she'd be willing to pay the mortgage, but I just don't know if I could qualify for a USDA loan with that mortgage already in my name. Like, I wish I could. I'd just get her to pay the mortgage, and then I.
Well, you know what? I mean, there's no harm in trying to find out.
Yeah, that's true.
Lo and behold, you can do it.
Yeah, right. I could still maybe try to apply, especially if I'm trying to use it for actual farming, you know. I just having a yurt out here somewhere, just hearing all the sounds.
Yeah.
Have yourself a little wood stove in there.
Yeah.
All the energy you need for the year. That's what I'm saying. I just want to. I mean, it doesn't need to be much. Give me like an acre.
Oh, check this out.
Just give me an acre in the woods somewhere.
Oh man, it's so funny.
I'll rent the land of my friends to come live on their own tents and stuff.
Last Friday, my first fare was a ride down to BWI. So the guy was going out of town, and I picked him up back in Forest Hill. And my God, the land out there for these houses that these people, these rich posh fucks, have these monstrous properties that are just covered in fucking grass. What a waste.
Yeah, right.
So this guy gets in. I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, we're gonna start our day. Blah blah blah. I don't remember how I said it, but I said, so how much for 400 square feet on your property? Like, I'll pay you cash right now. He laughed. I said, I'm serious. Like, do you have a family? Do you have kids? He's like, yeah. I said, I love to cook pancakes. I love to do whatever. I said, like, I could live here, grow a garden, and disappear. And he's like, you know, at the end of the day, we exchanged phone numbers, but it's on him.
Yeah.
But like, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of the
so
land.
much fucking land.
You need the money to get the land, but then the people that have the money don't really want to care to do anything with the land. They just grow a lawn on it and hire landscapers to mow it so it looks pretty, but...
I know, but it's just so much wasted space.
I'm always looking at that, like all these different big, like even just on the way up here, up through Kingsville and whatnot, and like seeing the big properties on the side.
Oh, what do you think this is? Like, why is it like that?
Some kind of fungus probably, like a mushroom. I mean, not a mushroom, but like... I know on birch trees, they have the chaga mushrooms grow like that. Probably a cut in it at one point. And then it
Yeah,
grew over.
it's like some infection or whatever, you know?
But yeah, I'll see if I can try. Because honestly, if I can, man, just some land somewhere. That's all I want. I want some land that I can start a huge garden on.
Honestly, I think about that all. I mean, like, how many houses would I have to solicit to finally find someone who would go, you know what? I've thought about that once. Yeah, sure. Let's talk. You know, let's meet a couple times. I don't want you to be some wacko, right?
Yeah.
You know, you got to vet somebody for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, for the most part, I'm just looking for my own little square.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have to use your bathroom. You know, I'm not going to be like leaving my underwear on the floor.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Even if I can get some land with it could be the tiniest 1-bedroom house. Like, I don't care. As long as, you know, a little shower and a bathroom in there and a kitchen. That way, whoever was on the property could use that when needed.
Yeah.
And then just have yurts or tents or van lifers, whatever.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I think about all the time. You imagine then you almost have this modification of RV parks, be like vagabond parks,
Yeah.
but it would be more intentional for spirituality. Like, you don't have to, but you know, we're making this intentionally for people who are traveling and who are spiritual.
Yeah.
That would be, I think that'd be an interesting.
With Airbnb and everything, I mean, you could almost easily make enough money to pay for the mortgage of the place. I mean, like what Adam's brother-in-law and sister were doing. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, they had enough money that they were paying for their place and paying for the house that they were building. I mean,
and buying the shit to build it. Build the
exactly
tiny homes.
We'll see. I was holding out hope that she'd be able to buy the place, but I was feeling if I end up waiting for her
Yeah.
to buy the place, she'll just keep on
Dragging it out.
Why would she buy it if she's just letting me live there?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just letting her live there.
Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free?
Exactly. My worry is that if I did get another place and I had to rely on her to make those payments, is that they wouldn't always get me. You know, just being behind, you know.
Well, then you cut off the sex.
Only it's that easy. Like, you're just gonna let the kids get thrown out? Because I'd be like, fine, I'm just not paying either. You don't pay me, I won't pay the mortgage company. But then it affects my credit negatively.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you got to go with cash. Cash doesn't need credit. It's right there. But then, you know, who's got $100,000 to hand off to somebody for property? Because like this guy that was going to let me stay in his place, he wasn't going to do any background check, nothing, right? Nothing from Big Brothers. You know, nobody needs to know about this.
Yeah. You're
just staying here and paying whatever. But then if you're going to go through someplace else, you know, they've got to cross all those T's, dot those I's. It's like, why do you need to know anything about this?
Well, when my spot ever comes through, you're welcome over there.
What was that? Is that like a way of saying you're welcome at my campfire any night?
Yeah, right. If I get my land, you can get a yurt and put it right on there.
There you go. Okay, I got you. Too bad you can't stick your face in that water and drink it.
Could, but
Yeah.
probably not the worst one ever.
Suppose so, but I wouldn't. I mean, I
Yeah.
did that up at Daryl's though. I got down in that beach water and that beach and went in that little hole right there.
Mm-hmm.
I went down underwater and just went, just drank as much of that gold as I could, man.
Did his ex-wife ever get a tiny home built on there?
No, not. I mean, it's been 2 years since I've been there. I didn't go there at all last year, so I don't know. I have
That
no
was
idea.
her plan. That's why that whole lower deck area was cleared out. Not the deck, the lower level.
They were clearing it out more when I was there the second time,
Okay.
but it was
I
just
mean, that would only make sense, especially with a daughter. You know,
yeah.
might as well have them living right there together. Plus, him and her seem to have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, I mean, she had her limits, but you know they got along for the most part. By limits, I mean she had all she could take, and she had to go for a drive, you know, something like that, because they still had disagreements. The other thing I wanted to start is, well, I want to do my canning, right? I'm like fucking Aunt Jemima or like Paul Newman if he wasn't a fucking actor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the guy that just had this dream. I liked making sauces, gave it away to my friends. They thought it was great. I thought maybe I could turn something. I just had to keep going, everybody. Just believe in yourself. I did it. You can do it too. You know, I mean, I honestly want, like I was, this Saturday is the second Bel Air Farmers Market. So I'm going to bake and can as much as I can and just give it away. And if they say, oh, no, I'm going to give you, well, I say, well, then that's up to you. You can donate something to me or whatever.
Yeah,
but this is not a transaction. I'm giving this away to you for free. And then here's the name. This is Viejos Vittles. So that when I start putting my stuff out there, you know, I was even thinking about making like this raffle ticket tear off so that, you know, if they, how was I thinking about it? It was like, almost like, you know what you had to do with those soda pop bottles? It wasn't recycling, but it was the deposit, right?
Yeah.
If you took it to the store or whatever, they give you 10 cents,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, you know, if you buy my product before I start charging for it, and you have the, how you doing?
All right.
And you have the jar to prove it, right? When you bring the jar back, I'll give you a discount because you're bringing the jar back, and I don't have to buy a new one.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know what I mean? Right. But the way that I'm going to do it, like I said, is because all of the vendors' tables are blocked. You can't buy in. So there's no place for you to set up anyway. But if I just get out of my car, drop my stuff on the sidewalk, and say free, you know, they're like, you can't sell anything. I said, I'm not.
Yeah, right.
I'm not. Would you like this? It's free. Just remember me when I start coming around with bigger and better. So anyway, I was thinking about doing that because then that's more active, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to create that shit to come your way.
You never know. You might find somebody that likes it and we'll call you up.
Well,
Hey, remember that?
you know, I've got 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, as soon as you taste into it at 5 or whatever, like, I don't know how I could put that as a reference to, like, you know, local people. Oh no, I would just tell you that I'm at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
So then you in your conversation say, hey, I know this guy that goes up and, you know, he tries to give his stuff away for free.
Yeah,
and I've even tasted it. It's really good. You should go check him out. It's at the farmer's market in Bel Air.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's what you're doing. You're spreading word of mouth. Whatever.
My grandmother kind of did something like that. Well, because my grandfather was a beekeeper.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
He had a big business. And one time there was this guy who had like a local farmer's market, and he drove up onto the property and was like, wanted to buy a bunch of honey to sell at his market. And he's like, do you guys sell anything else? And she was like, well, I make these jellies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just like, well, I'll buy some of them too. And then they sold so good that every time he came back to get more honey, he bought her. Then she started her own little side business.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you make good stuff, and people
But I've got to start getting those, I don't know what, 3-ounce glasses instead of the 12-ounce.
Yeah.
So I have smaller ones that are more like samples. But even then, I shouldn't do my giveaways in glass, right? Like the free is just a sample. I'm not giving you the whole jar.
Yeah, maybe get some kind of,
because that would be a massive loss before I saw anything come back.
Little plastic guys.
Yeah.
With lids on them.
Yeah, something bigger than you won't forget you have it, and then something small enough that it's not obnoxious to carry around with you. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, shoot, a little single serving thing. They might just open it up right there while they're walking around the farmer's market. You can come back to you and that was really good. You got any more?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, isn't this like your 5th time around?
Yeah. They're pulling like a BJ's.
Yeah. Wasn't your hat facing the other way last time you were here?
Changing their shirt.
Weren't you wearing a dress a minute ago?
Ooh, that's not okay. That's not very safe.
Well, there was a stake in the ground?
On that piece of wood, there was all kinds of. It looked like there were nails sticking up.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
So anyway, our conversation, I only showed 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm like, that's the only way to make it worthwhile, because I don't have a whole lot of followers.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you want to listen, I'll give you 20 minutes. Just know that there's 30 minutes that you're missing out on, but you could be a Patreon. You know, I'm like, make it the lowest possible, because I'm not trying to gouge people, but I just want it like to be a commitment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my son and I recorded our whole conversation, and we got into an argument, and I was like, fuck yeah, man, I can't wait to get this on the air, because I want to hear what people think if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
If he's right, I want to know. Because in my mind, he's not right, and we had an argument about it, and it was the same way I remember it. I'm like, man, this is on, dude. This is being recorded. How you doing? You need one on the back too, right? Crack a Smurf, man. I could do that again.
Alright, hot man. I was wondering the other day what it would take to like walk all the way across the U.S. from one ocean to the other.
Yeah?
Little forest gump.
Dude, you know what would happen? People would be hooking you up all along the way.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That would go viral.
Yeah, especially record a bunch of it and just all the interesting stuff that you found along the way.
Yeah?
And the interesting people.
That would be dope. You imagine somebody sponsoring you with shoes that didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Get some, oh shit, what am I wearing? Merrells?
And then, you really get to see a lot of everything when you're just walking.
Yeah.
Versus
Oh man.
driving through it all.
Can you imagine you fasted? You know what I mean? You're fasting for like 8 days. You stop by because you saved up enough to buy an apple or buy whatever, and then you're good for another 8 days. That would be so dope. Oh my gosh.
Maybe when the kids are 18, do it. Because that would take a little bit too long at the moment, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be away from that. Not for me, I'd love it, but
Well, hey man, you know, you say, hey guys, I'll be here in a couple weeks. Why don't you meet out, fly out? I'll hang out for the weekend and then fly back.
What is it, like almost 4,000 miles? Is that what it is across?
From the East Coast to the West Coast?
Yeah.
Oh, that's less than that. It's like 20. I'm gonna round up. It's 25.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whenever I drive, it's always usually like 24 and change.
Probably to be a little longer. You can take little scenic routes, maybe on the highway. Planning out all the side roads and stuff. Walk it. Maybe carry like a.
I love you, Birdie. Where are you?
I know, you just heard him.
I see him. He's right there.
Oh, he's down there.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I'm gonna stay. I'm staying again, so I'm not gonna obligate you to stay, but I'm walking again. So this has been another exciting adventure of Bien Este Viejo. I have been your host, Travis Finley. This has been the Magi over here. And we wish you all well. We wish you happiness. And until next time.